July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin land on the surface of the moon. Or did they? For the past 49 years, one of the biggest questions that have been asked, have we actually landed on the moon? Before diving into this question, I believe it is important to ask, why would we go to the moon? In the mid-40s, tensions raised between the US and Russia because of the United States' late entry into World War II, leading to the deaths of millions of Russians. Hence, the start of the Cold War. The Cold War was a very intense time in American history. Both America and Russia were at constant battle to try to get one up on each other. In an attempt to scare American leaders, Russia started threatening to blow up the moon.
Are you nuts, dude?
As America, we couldn't have that. No, we're gonna blow up the moon.
Explode! Go move!
Think of Russia and the United States as the two cool kids in school who are both trying to one-up each other. Look, no one's gonna blow up the moon. So then they came to the conclusion that whoever controlled the moon controlled the world. So now the United States and Russia decide to put a nuclear launch base on the moon.
I've turned the moon into what I like to call a Death Star.
The space race begins. The Russians then beat us to put the first satellite in orbit, Sputnik. The Russians then beat us yet again and put the first man in outer space. Now America is freaking out. Russia is beating us at every turn. We have to think of something.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
So now it's official. JFK announced to the world that not only will we be the first on the moon, but we will arrive there in under 10 years. That deadline is rapidly approaching. We have less than a year to make it there, and so far, the Russians have beat us at every turn. It is now time to either make it or fake it. There are a lot of questions surrounding the moon landing. One of the biggest questions I've always seen circulating, how did we get the image of Neil Armstrong exiting the lunar lander for the first time if we have never been to the moon? Look guys, I'm not even going to entertain such a stupid idea as that. If we have the technology to make it to the moon, we obviously have the technology to mount a camera to the side of the lunar lander. A widely believed theory is that we did not record this on the moon. We recorded it on a sound stage. Now there are a few inconsistencies that play into this theory. One of them, the background. In this picture you can see the lunar lander with mountains behind it. Look at this picture that was recorded to be taken miles away. If you look at the picture, you can see that the mountain range in the background is exactly the same. Take a look at this clip. This clip shows one of the astronauts exiting the lunar lander into a heavily shadowed area. The astronaut disappears from sight, which is to be expected considering they did not bring any lighting equipment with them. The only light source they have is that of the sun. In a few frames, he's completely blacked out, but in the frames to follow, he magically lights back up. In recent years, NASA says yes, we did pre-shoot some of the footage before heading to the moon, but that was only because we knew ahead of time that there were some shots that we could not show the public due to national security. So NASA claims that yes, we went to the moon, we filmed on the moon, but there were some shots that we spliced in just so you couldn't see classified information. Now, ordinarily I would be able to buy into that, except for a few things.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen.
To this day, Russia has never put a man on the moon. Russia claims it is impossible to put a man on the moon due to the Van Allen belts. Thick layers of radiation that surround the Earth are around 36,000 miles thick. One last piece of evidence that I want to present to you. Low Earth orbit. It has been said by astronauts, NASA officials, and former President of the United States, Barack Obama, that we have not made it past low Earth orbit.
Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go. And this new system that we're building is going to allow us to go beyond and hopefully take humans into the solar system to explore. So the moon, Mars, asteroids, there's a lot of destinations that we could go to.
What is low Earth orbit? Low Earth orbit is between 400 and 1,200 miles above the Earth's surface. The moon, on average, is 239,000 miles away. So if we cannot make it out of Earth's orbit, how can we make it to the moon? Hit that like button if this video made you think. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this in the future.